Think art. Think red.
It's Comrades Weekend. 15,000 runners will tackle 89 grueling kilometers between Pietermaritzburg and Durban. They'll consume 5 tons of bananas, over 1 million sachets of water before they cross the finish line, arms in the air saying, "We've done it!" In that crowd of runners, though, is a group of fanatics for whom 89 kilometers is not enough. For them, getting to the race is as important. They're calling it the Unogwaja Challenge.
Last year, the Unogwaja team cycled 1,700 kilometers from Cape Town to Maritzburg before completing the Comrades. This year, they're doing it again.
Hey John, mate, I got a burning question. Why would you take on a challenge like this?
Sure, about 1.5 years ago, Dr himself, who I didn't know at the time, came to me wanting to share a story about the Comrades Marathon. And he told me a story about an athlete by the name of Masterton-Smith, whose nickname was Unogwaja, meaning hair in Zulu. Masterton-Smith lived in Cape Town, couldn't afford the train fare in the Depression years, and instead of just giving up and not running that year, he cycled from Cape Town to Pietermaritzburg to take part in the race, and just truly inspired by that story.
John, there must have been dark moments you wanted to give up and walk away and just throw in the towel, but you didn't. So where did you get that motivation from to keep going?
One of the most incredible, moving experiences that I will never forget, and will definitely take into this one, was every morning the 4 cyclists last year, and there's going to be 5 cyclists this year, we linked arms, and we shared some amazing things together, and we said a prayer, and that togetherness, that bond, it kept us going. There was a point where once we got through that initial hump, no matter what came our way, like wind, rain, snow, mountains, we just felt strong, and we could get through it.
And tell me about that moment that you crossed the finish line after 11 hours and 24 minutes on your feet.
The feeling of crossing the line at the Comrades will be something that I often relive it. Like I'm running up here, or I'm on the bike, and I actually will physically remember how it felt to cross the line, like linked arms with VP on my left, Lawrence on the right, and those guys are my brothers, and we're on the bike together. When we're running together, we're like brothers, and I couldn't have got through it without those guys.
John, you've prepped for 3 to 4 months for this challenge. What happens if you get sick on the day of the race or leading up to the race? How do you stop yourself from getting ill?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I think about that for a second. It's just a case of getting up every day and making the most of everything, and there's no time to think about anything like that, like illness, sickness, injuries. They happen, and if they're meant to happen, they'll happen, and you take it on the chin, and there's going to be challenges along the way, and we've just got to deal with them.
John, there's actually a lot you can do to avoid getting sick, but what do you say we get running and we talk about it on the way? So there are ways you can boost your resilience. It's like training for your immune system. So for example, your long, slow runs, 90 minutes or more, you use slow twitch muscle fibers which feed on the same simple sugars that your immune system does. And it sets up a resource battle that your immune system loses. So what you can do, you can't cut back on long runs, but you can kind of intermediate with sort of high intensity training. So occasional sprints as opposed to the long runs like this. You ready?
This year, runners can donate their heartbeats by visiting Flora's interactive Comrades Expo stand. Money raised will be used to upgrade cardiac facilities at various hospitals.
So I assume you're having enough carbohydrates when you train, but you know what's interesting about that is carbohydrates slow the release of stress hormones. And as soon as your stress hormones go up, your immunity goes down. So the more you drink, the more you eat on the run, the better for your immunity. Fascinating. Yeah. And I hope you're sleeping in it. Research has shown that less than 6 hours of sleep a night compromises your immune system by up to 50%. So you better be getting plenty of Z's if you don't want to get sick. So to finish this Unogwaja challenge, you need not a screw loose, which would help, but you need a heart. Not just a big heart, but a healthy heart. Because this challenge pushes the human body and the human spirit beyond what is normal and what is ordinary. And yet when we see what they do and what they accomplished, we realize that nothing is impossible.
For more information, visit thinkred.co.za.